Do you ever feel like you are walking through mud? Every step is difficult. You try to move forward, but you feel heavy and slow. You see other people running past you on a clear, dry path, and you wonder, what am I doing wrong? Why is it so easy for them and so hard for me? Maybe you feel stuck in your job, or in your studies, or in your life. You wake up every day, and it feels like the same day as yesterday, and you are afraid it will be the same day as tomorrow. It is a terrible, frustrating feeling. We have all felt it. But what if I told you that the mud is not real? What if I told you that the stuck feeling, the heavy weight, is not coming from the world outside? What if it is coming from inside your own mind? And what if I told you that you have the power to change it? That you, right now, have the key to step out of the mud and onto the clear path? Hello, and welcome to English in Fluency. My name is Alex, and I am so happy you have chosen to be here today. This is a space for you to practice your English listening skills, to relax, and to learn new ideas. And today, the idea we are going to talk about is perhaps the most important idea of all. It is the one thing that can change everything else. We are going to talk about your mindset. We are going to explore this powerful topic. Change your mindset, and your life will change. This isn't just a nice phrase. It is a powerful truth. We will spend our time today understanding what a mindset is, how it controls our lives, and, most importantly, how we can change it. I am going to tell you a story to help us understand. As you listen, please don't worry about understanding every single word. That is not the goal. The goal is to understand the main feelings and ideas. Just let the English flow over you. This is your time to practice and to grow. So, let's begin with this big question. What is a mindset? It sounds like a complicated word, but it's actually very simple. Your mindset is your collection of beliefs and attitudes. It is the way you usually think about things. Imagine you are wearing a pair of glasses. You wear them all day, every day. If the lenses of your glasses are dark gray, the whole world will look dark and gloomy. A sunny day will look sad. A colorful flower will look dull. If the lenses of your glasses are bright yellow, the whole world will look bright and cheerful. Even a cloudy day will seem to have some light. Your mindset is exactly like these glasses. It is the lens through which you see your entire life. It colors every experience you have, every challenge you face, and every person you meet. We all have a mindset. We got it from our parents, our teachers, our experiences. But many of us never stop to ask, are my glasses helping me see clearly? Or are they making my world look darker than it really is? There are generally two types of mindsets we can have, and they create two very different lives. The first one is what we can call the stuck mindset. Some people call it a fixed mindset. A person with a stuck mindset believes that their qualities are like stone. They are fixed. They believe, I am smart, or I am not smart. I am good at sports, or I am bad at sports. I am a good speaker, or I am a shy person. They believe that talent is the most important thing. You either have it, or you don't. Now, how does a person with this mindset face life? Well, when they face a challenge, a difficult task at work or school, their main goal is to look smart. They are very afraid of looking stupid. So, if the challenge is too hard, they often give up. They will say, I just can't do this. They see the challenge as a wall, a barrier. And what about failure? Oh, failure is a disaster for someone with a stuck mindset. If they fail a test or make a mistake, It means they are a failure. It's not that their strategy was wrong, it's that they are not good enough. This is very painful. To avoid this pain, they often stick to easy tasks. They stay in their comfort zone, doing only the things they know they are good at. They avoid new experiences because new experiences have a risk of failure. Their life becomes very small and very safe, but also very limiting. Now, let's talk about the second type of mindset. This is the one that changes everything. We can call it the growth mindset. A person with a growth mindset believes something completely different. They believe that their abilities can be developed. They believe that they can get smarter, more talented, and more skilled through hard work, good strategies, and help from others. They don't believe people are just born smart. They believe people become smart by learning. So, how does this person face life? When they face a challenge, they see it very differently. It is not a wall, it is a puzzle. It's an opportunity to learn something new. They are not afraid of not knowing the answer. In fact, they get excited by challenges. And what about failure? This is the most important difference. For a person with a growth mindset, failure is not the end. Failure is simply information. It's feedback. If they fail a test, it doesn't mean, I am stupid. It means, my study method didn't work. I need to try a different way next time. They see mistakes as a normal part of the learning process. They are not afraid to try new things, to take risks, and to look stupid for a little while, because they know it is the only way to learn and grow. Their life is an adventure. To make this idea clearer, I want to tell you a story about a man named Thomas. This story will help us see these two mindsets in the real world. Thomas was a man in his 30s who felt completely and totally stuck. He worked at a large company, in a small cubicle, doing a job that he found boring. Every morning, his alarm would ring at 6:30 a.m. He would hit the snooze button 3 times. His first thought of the day was always, ugh, I have to go again. He would get dressed in the same gray suit, eat the same toast for breakfast, and walk to the same bus stop. On the bus, he would look out the window. He would see people jogging, laughing in cafes, or driving nice cars. He would think to himself, they are so lucky. Life is just easy for some people. They probably knew the right people, or they were probably born smart. He saw their success as proof that he was a failure. He believed life was something that just happened to him. At work, Thomas was quiet. He did his job. He was not bad at it, but he never did anything extra. His boss, a busy woman named Miss Alvarez, would sometimes hold team meetings. I need new ideas for this project, she would say. How can we be more efficient? Thomas would sit silently. He often had ideas. He had ideas about how to organize the files better, or how to improve customer service. But he never, ever said them out loud. His mind would scream at him, "Don't say that! That's a stupid idea. Everyone will think you are an idiot. Just stay quiet. It's safer." He believed he was not a creative person or a leader. He believed those were traits you were born with. A colleague of his, a young woman named Chloe, was the opposite. Chloe was always suggesting things. Sometimes her ideas were good, and sometimes they were not. But she was never afraid to speak. Thomas looked at her and thought, she's just so confident. I'm not like that. I'm an introvert. I can't change. One day, Miss Alvarez announced a promotion. It was for a new team leader position. Thomas had wanted this position. He felt he deserved it. He had been at the company for 5 years, but the promotion went to Chloe. Thomas was devastated. He felt angry and invisible. He went to eat his lunch alone in a small, quiet park near his office building. He sat on a bench, eating his sandwich with no appetite, feeling sorry for himself. "It's just not fair," he muttered to himself. "I work hard. She just talks a lot. It's all about luck and who you know. I'll be stuck in that cubicle forever." He was so deep in his dark thoughts that he didn't notice an older man sitting on the other end of the bench. The man was gently sweeping the fallen leaves from the path with a small broom. He looked over at Thomas and smiled kindly. "A difficult day?" the man asked. His voice was calm and steady. Thomas was surprised. He usually didn't talk to strangers, but today he felt so defeated that he just said, "Yes, a very difficult day. It feels like no matter what I do, I'm just stuck. Other people get all the breaks." The older man nodded slowly, as if he understood completely. "My name is Mr. Harrison," he said. "I'm the caretaker for this little park. I used to feel that way. For many, many years, I felt like my life was a little, empty, concrete box. I blamed my boss, my family, my bad luck. I blamed everything outside of me." Thomas looked at him, interested. "What changed?" Thomas asked. Mr. Harrison stopped sweeping and leaned on his broom. "My thinking," he said simply. "I realized my mind was like a garden. And for 40 years, I had been letting weeds grow everywhere. I was watering the weeds of, I can't. It's unfair. And I'm not good enough. And I was wondering why no flowers were growing." Thomas was confused. "Weeds? Flowers? What do you mean?" Mr. Harrison sat on the bench, a bit closer to Thomas. "Our thoughts," he explained, "our thoughts are the seeds. We get thousands of them every day. Negative thoughts and positive thoughts. I am a failure is a weed seed. I can learn from this is a flower seed. The problem is not the seeds just arrive. The problem is which ones we choose to plant and water." He looked at Thomas. "From what you said, I'm stuck. It's not fair. They are lucky. You are watering a lot of weeds, young man. A garden full of weeds will make you feel tired and defeated." This idea was new to Thomas. He had never thought about his thoughts. He just had them. He thought they were true. "So what do I do?" Thomas asked. "How do I stop the weeds?" Mr. Harrison smiled. "You can't just stop them. They will always appear. The secret is to stop watering them. You stop giving them your attention. And you must start planting flowers instead. You must choose a different thought and give that thought your attention." Thomas still looked confused. "It sounds hard." Mr. Harrison chuckled. "It is. At first, it takes practice. Let me give you a task, a small one." He pulled a tiny notebook and a pen from his pocket. "For the next 3 days, I want you to do nothing else but notice your weeds. Every time you have a thought that makes you feel bad, a thought of blame or fear or self-pity, just write it down. Don't judge it. Don't fight it. Just notice it. Become an observer. That is the first step. Meet me here in 3 days." Thomas felt strange, but he took the notebook. "Okay," he said. "I'll try." For the next 3 days, Thomas carried that little notebook everywhere. He was shocked. He had to write in it almost every few minutes. When his alarm rang, he wrote, "This day is going to be terrible." When he saw Chloe by the coffee machine, he wrote, "She thinks she's so much better than me." When Ms. Alvarez asked him a question, he wrote, "I'm going to say something stupid." The notebook filled up, page after page of dark, heavy weed thoughts. When he met Mr. Harrison in the park 3 days later, he felt embarrassed to show him. "My mind is an ugly place," Thomas said. Mr. Harrison looked at the notebook and nodded. "This is not ugly," he said. "This is normal. This is a garden that has been ignored. But now you can see the weeds. You have turned on the light. This is the most important step. You cannot change what you do not see." "Okay, I see them," Thomas said. "Now what? How do I get rid of them?" Mr. Harrison shook his head. "You don't get rid of them by pulling. You get rid of them by replacing them. You plant a flower in the same spot." He pointed to a line in Thomas's notebook. "Here," he said, "you wrote, 'I am terrible at speaking in meetings.' This is a very strong weed. Let's plant a flower next to it. From now on, when you have this thought, I want you to gently correct it. I want you to say, 'I am not good at speaking in meetings yet.'" Thomas looked at him. "Yet?" Mr. Harrison's eyes sparkled. "It is the most powerful word in the English language. 'I am terrible' is a wall. It's an end. It's a stuck mindset. 'I am not good yet' is a path. It's a beginning. It's a growth mindset. It means you are on a journey." He gave Thomas another task. "For the next week, your job is to add 'yet' to your weed thoughts." You wrote, "I don't understand this new software." Change it to, "I don't understand this new software yet." You wrote, "I'll never get promoted." Change it to, "I haven't been promoted yet." Just add the word. And there is a second part to this. After you plant the new seed, you must water it. A seed needs action to grow. "Action?" Thomas asked. "What kind of action?" Mr. Harrison replied, "If you say, 'I'm not good at speaking in meetings yet,' what is one tiny, very small action you can take to water that seed?" Thomas thought for a moment. I don't know. Speak in a meeting?" Mr. Harrison laughed. "That's too big. That's like trying to grow a giant tree in one day." Number, a tiny action. What about reading one article on the internet about how to be less nervous in meetings? Thomas nodded. "I could do that." "Good. And for 'I don't understand this new software yet,' what is a small action?" Thomas said, "I could watch a 5-minute tutorial video on it." "Exactly," said Mr. Harrison. "Your new job is not to be perfect. Your new job is to plant yet seeds and water them with one tiny, small action. Can you do that?" Thomas began to practice. It felt silly. His mind would scream, "This is stupid! You're just talking to yourself. You're still a failure." And Thomas would write that down. "I am having the thought that this is stupid." He started to see his thoughts as just thoughts, not as the absolute truth. They were like clouds passing in the sky, not the sky itself. At work, he read an article about public speaking. It said to prepare 1 point before a meeting. Just one. The next day, in the team meeting, Miss Alvarez asked for opinions. Thomas's heart was pounding. His palms were sweating. The old weed thought came, "Don't speak. You'll sound like an idiot." But then, the new flower seed came. "I'm not good at this yet. But I did prepare 1 point." He took a deep breath, and his voice was shaky. "Ms. Alvarez," he said, I was thinking about the file organization. I think maybe we could try a new labeling system." The room went quiet. Thomas turned red. He was sure they were all laughing at him, but Ms. Alvarez just looked at him and nodded. "That's an interesting idea, Thomas. Tell me more after the meeting." That was it. He hadn't changed the world, but he hadn't died of embarrassment either. He had spoken. He had taken one small action. He had watered the seed. When he left work that day, he didn't feel angry or defeated. He felt a tiny bit proud. He went to the park to tell Mr. Harrison. The old man was trimming a rose bush. "Well done," Mr. Harrison said, not even looking up. "You just did the hardest part. You took the first step. Now, the job is to do it again tomorrow, and the day after. This is not a race. This is gardening. It requires patience. It requires consistency." This is a great place for us to pause and practice. Think about your own life. Think about your English learning journey. Do you have a weed thought? Maybe it is, "My pronunciation is terrible." Or, "I will never be fluent." Or, "I'm too old to learn." Can you hear the stuck mindset in those thoughts? They are walls. They stop you. Now, let's practice what Thomas learned. Let's plant a flower. Take your thought, "My pronunciation is terrible," and add the magic word. "My pronunciation is not good yet." How does that feel? It feels different, doesn't it? "I will never be fluent" becomes "I am not fluent yet." "I'm too old to learn" becomes "Learning is more challenging now, but I am still capable of growing." These new thoughts are paths. They invite you to walk. Now, let's practice the second part. What is one small action you can take to water that new seed? If your seed is, "My pronunciation is not good yet," what is one tiny action? Maybe it's choosing one sound you struggle with, like the th sound, and practicing it for 3 minutes in front of a mirror. Just 3 minutes, not an hour. If your seed is, "I am not fluent yet," what is a small action? Maybe it's listening to this podcast, which you are already doing. Congratulations, you are watering your seed right now. Maybe it's learning 3 new vocabulary words today. Not 50, just 3. This is the secret. The growth mindset is not about huge, heroic actions. It is about small, consistent, daily efforts. It's about choosing to water the flowers, not the weeds, every single day. Let's go back to Thomas. His life did not change overnight. This is very important to understand. Motivation is not magic. It is a slow, steady process. Thomas continued his new practice. He started spending 15 minutes every evening watching tutorials on that new software he didn't understand yet. He was still bad at it. He made many mistakes. But he kept going. He started to see the mistakes as part of the learning. "Ah," he would think, "so that button doesn't do what I thought? Okay, now I know." He stopped seeing mistakes as proof of his stupidity and started seeing them as signposts, guiding him in the right direction. He continued to speak in meetings. He aimed for just 1 comment per meeting. Some of his ideas were not good. One time, Chloe pointed out a flaw in his suggestion. The old Thomas would have been humiliated. He would have been silent for the next 6 months. But the new Thomas, the one with the growing growth mindset, felt a sting of embarrassment. But then he said, "Oh, you are right. I didn't think about that. That's a good point, Chloe." He realized that feedback was not an attack. It was a gift. It was information to help him grow. Months went by. Thomas was changing, and he didn't even fully realize it. He was so focused on the process, on watering his seeds, that he wasn't obsessed with the result. He stopped comparing himself to Chloe so much. He was on his own journey. He was busy tending his own garden. He became an expert in the new software. He wasn't just using it. He understood it. He even found a way to use the software to make his team's filing system more efficient, an idea he'd had months ago but was too afraid to say. He created a small presentation, not because he was forced to, but because he wanted to. He practiced it at home. He practiced his "I am not a good presenter yet" seed. He presented it to Miss Alvarez and Chloe. He was nervous, but he focused on the information, not on himself. They were impressed. His idea was genuinely good. It would save the team hours of work each week. Miss Alvarez started to see Thomas differently. She hadn't noticed him before because he had been hiding. Now he was participating. He was offering solutions, not just problems. He was taking responsibility. He was demonstrating growth. One afternoon, about 8 months after his promotion disappointment, Ms. Alvarez called him into her office. "Thomas," she said, "we are starting a new project to update the systems in 3 other departments using the software you've become an expert in. It's a big, challenging project, and I want you to lead it." Thomas was stunned. His heart leaped. The old weed thought came back instantly. "I can't do that. That's too big. I'm not a leader." He almost said no, but then he took a breath. He looked at Miss Alvarez. He had been planting flowers for 8 months. He had a garden now. He said, "I've never led a project like that before. I will have a lot to learn. But yes, I would like to try. I accept." Thomas's life changed. He got a new title and a new salary. He moved out of his small cubicle. He was now leading a team, teaching others, and solving new, interesting problems every day. He still took the bus to work. He still had difficult days. He still had weed thoughts. But the difference was he no longer believed them. He saw them, acknowledged them, and then turned his attention back to his flowers. His work was no longer boring. It was challenging and meaningful. He even started a lunchtime walking club, inviting Chloe and others. He was no longer the quiet, angry man in the corner. He was a man who was growing. He still saw Mr. Harrison in the park sometimes. "The garden is looking good," Mr. Harrison would say with a smile, and Thomas would smile back and say, "Yes, it's hard work, but it's beautiful." Thomas's story teaches us everything. Did his life change? Yes, completely. But what changed first? Did he win the lottery? Did he find a new job by magic? Number. The only thing that changed at the beginning was his mindset. He changed his glasses. He went from a stuck mindset, "I am a failure, life is unfair, I can't change," to a growth mindset. "I am not perfect yet. I can learn from my mistakes, and my effort matters." That single shift, that change in thinking, led to new actions. The new actions, speaking in a meeting, learning the software, asking for feedback, were small at first. But he was consistent. He watered those seeds every day. And those small, consistent actions, over time, built new skills. Those new skills created new opportunities. And those new opportunities changed his life. It all started with a simple choice: to stop watering the weeds and to start watering the flowers. So, now I ask you to look at your own life. Where do you feel stuck? Is it in your career, your relationships, your health, or your English learning? Listen closely to the thoughts you have about that area. Are they stuck thoughts? Are you telling yourself, "I'll never be fluent. I'm just not good at languages. It's too hard. I've failed before, so I'll fail again"? These are the weeds Mr. Harrison talked about. They are keeping you in the mud. Today, right now, you have a choice. You can choose to plant a new seed. You can choose to change your mind. Instead of, "I'm not good at this," you can say, "I'm not good at this yet." Instead of, "It's too hard," you can say, "This is challenging," which means my brain is growing. Instead of, I failed, you can say, I learned what doesn't work. This is not easy. It is a practice. It is something you must do every day. Your old, stuck mindset will be very loud. It has been with you for a long time. It will tell you that this is silly, that it won't work. Your job is to thank that voice for its opinion, and then calmly plant your flower anyway. Your job is to water it with one small action. Just one. What is your one small action today? Maybe it is just listening to this entire lesson. If you are still here, if you are still listening, you are already doing it. You are already practicing. You are already watering a seed of growth. Be proud of that. This is the work. This is how change happens. Not in one giant leap, but in 1,000 tiny steps. Your life is not set in stone. Your abilities are not fixed. You are not just lucky or unlucky. You are a gardener. Your mind is your garden. And what grows there is up to you. The life you want, the one that feels open and exciting and full of possibility, it does not start by changing your job or your city. It starts by changing your mind. It starts by changing the lens through which you see the world. When you change your mindset, you change your actions. When you change your actions, you change your habits. When you change your habits, you build new skills. And when you build new skills, you open new doors. And one day, you will look back, and you will realize that your entire life has changed. And it all started with one simple, powerful choice. Thank you so much for joining me here today at English in Fluency. I hope Thomas's story and these ideas have given you some inspiration and some practical tools. Remember that you are capable of amazing things. Your potential is not a fixed point. It is an ocean of possibility. It all depends on your mindset. Choose the growth mindset. Choose to learn. Choose to see challenges as opportunities and failure as a teacher. Choose to water your flowers. If you found this practice helpful, and if you want to continue learning with me, please show your support. You can subscribe to our channel, English in Fluency, so you never miss a new lesson. Please also like this video and share it with a friend or family member who might need to hear this message today. And I would love to hear from you. Please leave a comment below. What is one weed thought you are going to stop watering? And what is one flower thought you are going to plant today? I read your comments, and they inspire me. My name is Alex. Thank you for your time and your attention. Keep practicing, be patient with yourself, and keep growing. I look forward to speaking with you again very soon.